Have you ever noticed how some people seem completely relaxed when it comes to money? They pay their bills on time. They invest regularly. They travel without guilt. They spend on things they love. And somehow they don't seem stressed about money all the time. Meanwhile, many intelligent, hardworking people feel the exact opposite. They earn decent incomes. They work long hours. They try to save when they can. Yet money always feels complicated. There is always another bill, another expense, another financial decision that creates anxiety. If you've ever wondered why this happens, I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi offers a surprisingly refreshing perspective. The book begins with a simple observation. Most people spend enormous amounts of time worrying about small financial decisions. Should they skip a coffee? Should they avoid eating out? Should they cut every little pleasure from their lives? At the same time, they often ignore the decisions that have the biggest impact on their financial future. The result is a strange situation. People feel deprived, but they don't necessarily become wealthier. Ramit challenges this entire approach. He argues that being good with money doesn't mean living a life of constant sacrifice. It doesn't mean saying no to everything you enjoy. And it certainly doesn't mean becoming obsessed with every dollar. Instead, it means being intentional. Because according to Ramit, there is a huge difference between spending mindlessly and spending consciously. That distinction sits at the center of the entire book. Most people never consciously decide how they want to spend their money. Money arrives, bills get paid, expenses happen, the rest disappears month after month, year after year, without a clear plan, without a clear vision, without a clear understanding of what truly matters. Ramit encourages readers to think differently. Imagine that money is not just something you earn. Imagine it is a tool for building what he calls a rich life. Not someone else's rich life, your rich life. This is one of the most important ideas in the book, because many people spend years chasing financial goals they never actually chose. They buy things because everyone else buys them. They pursue lifestyles because society celebrates them. They follow financial advice designed for somebody else's dreams. But what if your ideal life looks different? What if your rich life includes travel, or family time, or creative work, or flexibility, or experiences instead of possessions? The first step, Ramit argues, is defining what rich means to you. Because without that definition, money becomes an endless pursuit, and endless pursuits rarely create satisfaction. Once this foundation is established, the book turns toward a practical reality. Most financial problems are not caused by a lack of intelligence. They are caused by inaction. People know they should save. They know they should invest. They know they should manage debt. Yet years pass before they take meaningful action. Ramit noticed that many people become trapped by perfectionism. They spend months researching, comparing options, analyzing strategies, waiting for certainty. But while they are waiting, nothing changes. No investments are made, no accounts are opened, no wealth is built. The perfect plan becomes the enemy of progress. The book repeatedly encourages action over perfection, because a good financial system that actually exists is far better than a perfect system that never gets implemented. This leads to one of Ramit's most powerful ideas: automation. He believes financial success should not depend on daily willpower. It should depend on systems. Think about it. Most people don't brush their teeth because they wake up every morning full of motivation. They do it because it has become automatic. Money can work the same way. Instead of constantly deciding whether to save or invest, Create systems that make those decisions automatically. Money arrives. Savings happen automatically. Investments happen automatically. Bills get paid automatically. The process continues whether motivation is present or not. This may sound simple, but simplicity is often what creates results. Many people fail financially because they rely on discipline. Discipline is unpredictable. Systems are reliable. The book also addresses debt, but Ramit's approach is slightly different from many traditional personal finance experts. Rather than focusing on shame or guilt, he focuses on awareness and strategy. Debt is not a reflection of character. It is a financial problem that requires a financial solution. The important thing is understanding it, managing it, and creating a plan to eliminate it. Throughout the book, Ramit emphasizes something many readers find liberating. You do not have to be perfect with money. You simply need to be consistent. This idea removes enormous pressure because many people believe a single mistake ruins everything. An impulsive purchase, a bad investment, a financial setback, and suddenly they feel like failures. Ramit encourages a longer perspective. Financial success is built over decades, not days. A few imperfect decisions matter far less than consistent positive habits. The book then moves into investing. And here Ramit challenges another common belief. Many people assume successful investing requires constant attention, watching markets, following financial news, predicting economic trends, trying to beat everyone else. But history tells a different story. Many successful investors are not constantly chasing the next opportunity. Instead, they invest regularly, patiently, consistently, and then allow time to do the heavy lifting. This is where the concept of compound growth becomes so powerful. At first, results seem small, almost disappointing, but over time, growth begins building on previous growth, and eventually the process accelerates. The challenge is that most people quit before reaching that stage. They want immediate results, immediate wealth, immediate proof. But wealth often grows quietly before it becomes visible. Ramit repeatedly encourages readers to focus on long-term behavior rather than short-term outcomes. Because short-term outcomes are unpredictable, long-term habits are controllable. Another major theme throughout the book is spending. Most personal finance advice focuses heavily on cutting expenses. Ramit takes a different view. He argues that there are certain things worth spending money on, things that genuinely improve your quality of life. The goal is not to spend less on everything. The goal is to spend extravagantly on the things you truly love, while cutting costs mercilessly on the things you don't care about. This philosophy feels surprisingly different from traditional budgeting. Instead of creating a life filled with restrictions, it creates a life filled with intentional choices. Maybe you love travel, spend more there. Maybe you love books, spend more there. Maybe you value convenience, spend more there. But stop spending automatically on things that add little value. The point is not deprivation. The point is alignment. Money should reflect priorities, not habits. This idea connects directly to the concept of a rich life. Because wealth is not simply a number. Two people with identical incomes can experience completely different levels of satisfaction. One spends according to values, the other spends according to expectations. One feels freedom, the other feels pressure. The difference often has little to do with income and everything to do with intention. Toward the later parts of the book, Ramit discusses confidence, not financial confidence, personal confidence, because many people secretly believe they are bad with money. They carry years of mistakes, regrets, embarrassment, financial decisions they wish they could undo. These experiences create negative identities. I'm terrible with money. I'll never understand investing. I'm always behind. The book encourages readers to reject these labels, not because mistakes don't matter, but because identities influence behavior. A person who believes they are hopeless with money often acts accordingly. A person who believes improvement is possible behaves differently. Financial growth begins with the belief that change is possible, and change becomes much easier when small wins begin accumulating. An automated savings account, an investment account, a paid-off debt, a growing net worth. Each step reinforces confidence. Each success creates momentum, and gradually money becomes less stressful, not because life becomes perfect, but because a system exists, a plan exists, direction exists. Perhaps that is the most important message in I Will Teach You to Be Rich. Financial success is not about becoming obsessed with money. It is about creating a system so money stops consuming your attention. It is about making a few important decisions well, automating good habits, investing consistently, spending intentionally, and then getting on with the business of living. Because at the end of the day, money is not the destination. It is a tool that can create freedom, flexibility, experiences, security, and opportunities. But only when it is aligned with a vision of the life you actually want, not the life somebody else expects you to live. Your rich life, your priorities, your values, your choices. And once that becomes clear, money often becomes much simpler. If this story stayed with you, if it made you think differently about saving, investing, and spending, then you may enjoy more summaries like this. Subscribe to Thinkora Audio, where timeless books and powerful ideas are explored slowly, without hype, without noise, and without shortcuts. And if you'd like to explore this book further, you'll find the audiobook and reading links in the description below.